Yo, 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 welcome back to Buck What You Heard. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Buck What You Heard. You follow me, I will definitely follow you back. Guys, here we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on Thursday Night Football. Go figure. And this is going to be a really good game facing the Chicago Bears, the 3-1 Bucs versus the 3-1 Chicago Bears. A lot of injuries, a lot of key. I won't say a lot of injuries, a lot of key injuries, and for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now, the one thing that this does is it's a measuring stick as to where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are. Eric Moreno, what's good, man? How you been, buddy? Glad to hear from you, guys. If you haven't heard, I have joined forces with Bucs Report. And I know you've seen Bucs Report around. I love Bucs Report. They've got a lot of good content. And I haven't forgot about you guys. I will be getting back to my Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can catch me on Bucs Report on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. So it's gonna be fun. This is gonna be a fun season. I've missed hanging out with you guys, and we'll definitely get back on schedule. This Thursday night game kind of screwed everything up. I was supposed to be on Wednesday night, special guest, and that didn't all work out. So because of the scheduling conflict, I ended up moving this to my show to Bucs Report on Wednesday night, but I'll be back on schedule next week. So look for that. I do want to get you guys on. I want to get back to this. Let me throw the phone number up here because, this is the ideal time. Hold on 1 second. Let me, this was kind of impromptu. That's that SAT word of the day. Give me a second. Let me get my gear going here. And let's get some callers on here, man. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear, are you guys hyped? Are you guys excited about this game? I want to know, because to me, this is big. The Bucs haven't been playing like this for a while, so this is definitely big. Give me a second here. I'm about to get the ticker tape going here. And as soon as you see it, yeah, definitely call in. I want to hear from you. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to go through the chat. Eric Moreno says 24-20. Dang. T. Smitty wasn't playing around. Okay, you are live on Buck What You Heard. Who am I talking with?
Who it is, Gene, the boy Smitty. What's going on?
What's going on, man? Hey, I want to hear from you, man. What are your thoughts on this game?
First, I listened to y'all pod last night, and the first thing crossed my mind was Gene messed around and joined the NWO, man. But your volume's low too, by the way.
Oh, is it really? Okay, hold on.
You good now? You good now?
Okay, yeah. I just need to put my face towards the mic a little bit better. Thank you.
Yeah. The thing about this game, though, is
I'm more concerned about this game than I was the Chargers game, but they're both tough games.
Yep. Short week. The Bears defense, I haven't checked that injury report. Still somewhat healthy, not the same defense as before.
Yep, they're very.
But this ain't Mike Smith's defense they going up against this time. I'm sorry. I'm still pissed about your biscuit throwing all those touchdowns.
So what are your keys to the game? If I know as fans sometimes fans just go in and watch the game. Hey, this is what's going to happen. But you pay a little bit more attention. What do you look for when you're looking at a game like this? What are your keys to the Bucs winning this game?
One, I think, is coaching, keeping these guys' heads level-headed, because a lot of these guys, the core players, most of them are young cats, Mm-hmm. And a lot of them, they read a press clipping saying how great they are, how great they're looking, and they earned that so far.
Right.
But a short week on the road, even though there's no fans in Chicago, it's still a tricky thing. Short week, guys are health. Got a lot of guys who's going to be hurt or hobbled.
Right.
And I think that's the key. And also, can the offensive line continue to hold up? Tristan Wirfs has done a great job.
Man, he gave Joey Bosa the business the whole game. I've been saying that.
Yeah. I still think Donovan Smith is hot garbage. But you gotta keep it real.
Don't even get me started on that. I'm trying to be optimistic here, but that guy, I don't see how you could be an offensive lineman and be standing upright after every single play in the game. Like listen, I'm not going to go there, but go ahead and finish your thought. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because like if you look at the footwork between, like Tristan Wirfs is more fundamentally sound. If you look at the fundamentals,
100% top to bottom.
And sometimes you're gonna get beat sometimes, but it's how you get beat, you know. But I think that as long as they keep Brady upright, because Brady's mistakes come when that pocket is not clean.
Yeah,
that's when the mistakes come from him. Because the pocket's clean, is over. And but the Bears, I think with the Bears, their quarterback situation stinks.
Yeah.
This defense should eat.
You know, I'm gonna say this. I'm not a fan of their quarterback. I think he was in the right place at the right time when he was with Philadelphia. I 100% agree, and I shouldn't say agree, but believe in my heart of hearts that Cam Newton should have been the quarterback of the Chicago Bears. He just should have been. There's no
on the cheap.
Yeah, on the cheap. He should have been the starting quarterback of the Chicago Bears. And I promise you that Bears offense would look nothing like what it does right now. But the fact that you got this guy, and I can tell you right now, just looking at his style and then looking at Trubisky's, it'll show tonight. We'll see what he can do, but I just have not been impressed with him. And I don't know, it's not so much the injuries that he's had, it's more or less, just how this guy has performed. And, I would probably be more concerned with Mitch than this dude, but, again, you just don't know. I love our young corners. I think the young corners got punched in the mouth in the first half of that Chargers game, and I think they made a great showing in the second half, and that gives me hope throughout the season.
See, the problem with the Bears quarterback situation is they aren't Justin Herbert, a quarterback, and his talent to kryptonite to the Bucs. They're like their kryptonite to their defense, the way they blitz, because he's such a big armed guy who can move at the same time, where he can make you pay over the top. Neither one of those clowns on the Bears can do that. And let's be honest about Nick Foles. He's a modern day Jeff Hostetler. I think Hostetler was better. Yeah. You win a Super Bowl as a backup. Someone gives you great big money, and as soon as it shows up in camp, it's like crap.
Yeah.
And you're right about the Cam Newton thing. Not only was Cam Newton cheaper this year, they're not on the hook next year to be stocking up. They're still on the hook with Nick Foles.
Oh yeah, 100%. That to me was a suspect move. And I part of it I'll say was timing. Because Cam Newton was not available at the time that they picked up Nick Foles.
They screwed him.
And that kind of goes back to the Carolina Panthers. So, the way everything ended up, in a perfect world, Cam Newton should have been a Bear. He should have been a Chicago Bear. And I promise you, that team I don't think you would have had the injuries you have, because they would have been utilizing that defense, that offense a little bit different than what they were. And again, it's just timing, like you said, timing. It is what it is.
Yeah. Talk about like one thing I touch on with coaching, right? Is because usually when you injure, you got that whole week to get ready with treatment and stuff. Evans and Scotty Miller don't have that whole week. It's a short week.
And as Bucs fans, we don't get to appreciate the 3-1 record we have all the way up to Sunday.
Yep. And one thing also is that when I touch on coaching, so Evans may be hobbled. He can turn that thing at any time. Scotty Miller always nicked up. He's like our version of Will Fuller to take the top off the defense. But he's going to have something wrong with him. It's what it is.
Dude.
So it means you may be playing new wideout.
And this is my hot take right here. I would take him over Deshaun Jackson. Just health-wise.
Oh, yeah, because he gives effort. He tries.
Yeah.
And he tries. He runs his butt off. But the one thing, so you see a lot more Justin Watson and maybe Tyler Johnson. This is why the coaching staff are saying, hey, we're going to put our egos aside and not call all these timing routes. we're going to dumb it down a little bit because these guys haven't played that much. So it doesn't make sense to do all those timing and option routes with guys who didn't play that much. And maybe you should utilize break.
Yeah.
And like those short yard goal line situations.
Right now, with what they have right now, they're forced to use the people that they weren't intending on using in my eyes. So now you've got your running back situation is not what it was when they rolled this team out at the beginning of the season, and you have to make the most out of that, which I'm good with that because these young players need to get these reps. They need these reps because when you get on the back end of the season and you're in the hunt for the playoffs, which is where I expect the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to be, that's when you need these guys. That's when you need guys to step up. You know what you have. And a beautiful thing about this here, if you think about this, we're 1, 2, 3 games in. This is the 4th game. So this would be the last preseason game in a normal season. But we've got 4 preseason games that count as regular season games if you look at it that way.
Yeah, and I was big on, hey, dumb down this offense for those 2 young receivers because I don't think Justin Watson, he is a reserve receiver nice in his role.
Yeah,
but when
again, there's such a drop off from Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Scotty Miller. I'm going to put Scotty Miller above Justin Watson because from what I've just seen from him, he's made catches, but he just hasn't been consistent. He hasn't been consistent enough to be up there where he should be, and he's been with this team for a while. So again, he's on this team. I'm not complaining about him by any means. Not complaining. I'm just saying, hey, this is who we have. This is how he's playing. And, again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope he goes and just shows out, gets 50, 60, 70 yards. I'm good with that. I don't mind being wrong. But looking at his body of work since he's been in the NFL, he just has not, he just hasn't been that dude. So
Scotty Miller, right?
No, I'm talking about Justin Watson. I'm talking.
Watson. Yeah. About to say Watson. Yeah.
So Watson, and since he's been in the league, he just hasn't been that dude. But it is what it is.
He calls a lot of picks too. With his route running. If you notice that the past couple of years.
Yeah, and I tell you, Michael Clayton. I know Michael Clayton is much maligned. Michael Clayton.
He was right.
The post Buccaneers or the post NFL Michael Clayton. Love that guy. Love him. He's my guy. When he was playing, he was a stone-handed devil, and I didn't even want to see him, man. But he did a video, and he talked about the wide receivers rounding off their routes, not running crisp routes, not doing what they need to be doing. I think Tom Brady is really helping these receivers along to get to where they need to get to. So, as the season progresses, I expect these players to get better. And they've got to keep, like you said, they've got to keep Tom Brady upright. So, dude, I know there's so much to talk about. Hopefully you can check in with us tomorrow. I will be doing a post-game show with my special co-host, Tampa Bay, and you'll love this. This is going to be fun. This will be a call-in show tomorrow because I want to get you guys' reaction. But give me your final thoughts before I get you off here and get somebody else on.
I think it'll be a closer game than people think because the Bears defense is good. And, but I think this is a game also for keep building Rojo up. I know he has hands of stone like the wrestler Ronnie Gardner. But hey, that's all right. Let's focus on what he does well. Running the ball. Let's focus on that. Yeah. And I think with Keyshawn Vaughn, these will be valuable snaps for him as well.
Yeah.
To get out there, get his feet wet, all that stuff. He get used to the speed of the NFL game because you're going to need that young man as well.
Yeah, 100%.
So I expect the Bucs to win. I think it'll be a close game, man. I don't care about style points. This ain't college football. Just give me a W.
Yeah. It's all about wins and losses, man. It's about getting to the playoffs. Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs is what we want to talk about. I don't care who's starting. I don't care who's finishing. As long as you can go out there and produce. To your point about Ronald Jones, I don't think his hands are that bad. I think it's where the ball is being placed. I think it's familiarity with the quarterback. And again, I think he's going to get better as the season progresses. I'm not jumping out the window. I'm not ready to bench him or anything like that. He got us He got us 100 yards rushing last game. So against that Chargers defense, and I'm good with that. So again, man, thank you so much for calling in, man. I appreciate you. Guys, 813-358-8154. Hit us up, hit me up. Come on. I'm ready to hear from you. And the line is actually open right now. So I would love to hear from you guys. Once again, 813-358-8154. This is Buck What You Heard. And we're getting ready to get hyped for this game. So, just kind of looking at the let me get over here to the injury report, because this is something that I really, that concerns me. I mean, when you think about this, we don't know. Mike Evans is questionable. Oh, here we go. We got somebody here. All right. You are live on Buck What You Heard. Who am I talking with?
Mr. Bucs Everything.
Mr. Bucs Everything. And I mean, not anything, but everything. What's happening?
Man, everything good. I see.
You excited
last
about this
week?
game?
I thought last week my predictions were gonna come close to what it was. I said last week 27-25, and it ended up being 38-31. I'm gonna go back to that first.
Were you expecting that kind of a high scoring game?
I wasn't expecting that, but I knew it was going to be a close game. I said this is still two defensive teams. And I said it's going to come down to whoever defense was playing better.
Well, I
look for us to have a similar game this week right here. It's going to be a very grimy defensive game.
Yeah.
And whoever defense gets the most stops in that fourth quarter is basically going to win right there.
Well, let me ask you this, because I would love to get your thoughts on this. When you watch that first half of that game, and the Bucs went into halftime, what was your thought at that moment when they were walking off the field? What was your thoughts?
I said they got to keep their composure. They got to come back out, make adjustments, come back at the second half ready to play. And just like I'm going to hit on something else that Bruce Arians said at the press conference about the team, from the difference between the team from last year to this year. The last year team would have gave up. This year team, he said, you see the resolve in the team. He said, because of Tom Brady's leadership, he doesn't let these guys quit on themselves.
Right.
So when you got a quarterback filtering out that kind of energy to the rest of the guys, you're going to want to play harder than what you normally do.
Man, I think Tom Brady took over that second half. There's been some questions about play calling and who's calling the plays, who's doing this, but I love what Tom Brady is doing. He got that pick six, and people want to harp on that pick six. The Bucs bounced back from that. The Bucs got punched in the mouth in the first half of this game, and I'm going to be honest with you. When I look back at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I can go all the way back to 2004, and this Bucs team, the way they got hit, I would have just expected them to fight back, but just come up short. The Bucs came back. They tightened up that defense. They tightened up that offense, and they went out there and did what they had to do. And again, shout out to Tristan Wirfs, just a rookie. The way he's been balling out of his mind. That guy has just been, I'm so excited for him. Antoine Winfield Jr., I'm excited for what these guys are doing, man, because they are the missing pieces. They are some of the missing pieces from last year, and we're seeing that come to fruition this year.
Exactly. And then you also got to give kudos to the secondary, taking a big leap from last year to this year here.
100%.
Ever since we cut Vernon Hargraves last year, the secondary has been stepping up tremendously and not letting us down. And even though being in a second year in Tall Bowles system with this secondary, you actually see the big difference in it.
100%. Now, the thing to think about here is the defense was already ahead of the curve compared to the offense when you look at last year, because your core nucleus is all coming back. And shout out to Jason Light for bringing back those pieces, getting them back in here. And I honestly believe that the offense is going to eventually catch up and pass the defense, believe it or not. That's my hot take. my Thursday night hot take. I feel like by game 8, game 9, the offense, if everybody stays healthy, I believe the offense will surpass the defense, believe it or not.
At the beginning of the season, I looked at the schedule and I said, if we can get past those first 4 games and get to Green Bay, we was going to be all right. But I have a big issue with one thing, the strength and conditioning coach. Like, what are you doing to these receivers ever since Mike Evans and Godwin has been in the league for them having these ankle, having these hamstring issues? Something's going on with that, and they need to really look at that. Then we need to actually go back to looking at putting quality depth behind Godwin and Evans.
Yeah.
Now, if you remember back when we had Vincent Jackson.
Yes, I remember.
Evans was learning a lot from Vincent Jackson
100%.
About running routes, about playing the game, being in shape. What happened at it? Since then, I mean, it's like it got lost. But like even with this game coming up, they talking about Scotty Miller's hip and groin injury. Justin Watson with this problem. Evans with his ankles is a game time decision. Okay, so we looking at possibly Tyler Johnson being our lead receiver, maybe going into this game, then bringing up a couple of unknowns, maybe from the practice squad. I'm not trusting that.
I totally understand.
What I am trusting, we have 4 other tight ends that we can run a heavy package with. We can run 1 wide out, 3 tight ends, run the ball, keep the ball out the air. Only pass when we necessarily need to pass. We got other options.
Right.
Don't get sucked in and getting drawn into being a big shootout game, because that's what Chicago want us to do. They want us to throw the ball 30, 40 times in the game to give them opportunities to score off of.
Right.
Got to neutralize their defense. Once you neutralize their defense and you wear them out, they're no good. Because by the time the fourth quarter comes, they're looking for mistakes instead of making the right plays. They're looking for the big play to try to score. You look in the game where they played against Atlanta. When Atlanta gave the game to them, gave the game back to them, Atlanta had them up. But Chicago kept looking for that big play in the third and fourth quarter to change the momentum of the game. And if we keep this game simplified, run the ball, pass when we need to, and then keep our interceptions low and turnovers low, we should have no problem on winning this game right here.
Yeah. And a question for you, Mr. Everything's Bucs, question for you. When you look at, this is a unique season that we're in when you talk about COVID-19, and you don't have all the conditioning at your disposal that you normally would have in a regular season. Example, your OTAs, mini camp, rookie camp, training camp, preseason. So we've gone through 4 games that I would, like I said, I was talking about this earlier, I would consider these 4 games as preseason games before we get to the regular season. And all that's been gone. All that's gone. This is what we have to work with right here. And, like you, I used to think like you, like, man, what is strength and conditioning doing? I mean, what are they doing to help this? And it wasn't until I talked to my wife. She works at the Children's Hospital, but she's been in the medical field for damn near 25 years. So, we've talked about this. She said it could be technique. It could be the way that they run. And, getting my son involved in football, I actually got him hooked up with one of the trainers for that used to work with Shut Down U here in Arizona. And, he worked out with him, and he said that it's all in his technique. And if you're not running, because there's a certain gait that you have when you run, and you shouldn't ever get injured. But there are times when you look, if you like freeze frame where you think somebody got injured and you look at their stance or look at how they're running, you can kind of see where something could potentially happen. But there's a technique to running that kind of prevent, I can't say it's foolproof, but it does prevent injuries like this. And I'm just kind of wondering, with strength and conditioning, that's important. But again, it's a lot has a lot to do with your technique and how you're actually physically running. And I've physically seen that. Friend of mine, Rube, shout out to Rube. He's he's a trainer. That's what he does. He works with NFL players. And his thing was, just look, just freeze frame and look at what's happening. It is what it is. And at the end of the day, when you look at what's going on, it's like, man, that I see what you're talking about. And so for me, I'm looking at
when you look at also.
Go ahead.
Well, when you look at the okay, how long Evans been in? Maybe 4 or 5 years almost into the league.
Evans came in the year before Jameis Winston, and if I remember correctly, his rookie year he had hamstring problems going into the regular season.
Okay, from then to now, Evans has had hamstring issues every year. Now, my thing is this: why not bring somebody like Eddie George or Jerry Rice in, or either Charles Haley or either Herschel Walker, who's used to conditioning training during the off season, to teach these boys this is what you need to eat, this is how you need to treat your body, this is how you need to build your body in the off season.
Well, because I will say this. I'm going to jump in here real quick. When I look at players like Darrelle Revis or Patrick Peterson, even a lot of these guys go out of their way and they realize the value of getting with some of these coaches that can help them with the techniques that they use. I mean, a great case in point was Darrelle Revis when he was healing from that ACL injury, or Patrick Peterson, who got with Shut Down You just to work on his technique, and they continue to want to get better at what they do. Every player has their own little thing, little regiment that they do or they work out with. And, it's not something that's mandatory, but it depends on how your view of the game is and how you want to approach it. So ultimately it comes back to the players themselves. It's not something that's mandatory. Oh, you've got to get with this trainer in order to do this. They can offer suggestions, but it's going to ultimately be up to you how you utilize, whatever resources you have.
Exactly. And I go back to something where I'm going to pose a question back to you on something what you just said, because of the COVID situation being this year here, no OTAs, no real training camps, couldn't really meet and do a lot of things or whatnot. But could you see one of the things altering our season up, because now you're seeing certain games are being postponed due to COVID and players getting sick? Because they went from the Titans game, they postponed that Steelers game. Now Cam having the COVID-19. That affecting the Buccaneers season, and even the whole NFL season. Because if they get to a certain point, these players are not going to want to play. They're going to wait a minute, y'all need to do something.
Right. And
there was already a lot of skepticism at the early part of the year where they were trying to give players a chance to say either you want to play or you don't want to play. So what if now it comes into a situation to where the players don't want to play because too many teams or too many players are all of a sudden popping up with COVID? How would this derail the whole season for us then?
This comes back to personal responsibility. These players are making from hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars. Right now, this is where you make your money. And because we're in a very new situation, this is one of those things where you have to pay attention to what you're doing. Example, and I can't compare the two, but I'm just putting out examples. Domestic violence, DUIs, fights, jail time, stuff like that, where, you know what, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're focused on the game, you're focused on getting ready to play, you're focused on your team as a whole and not being a distraction for your team, then that's what you should be focused on. The guidelines have been set out there by the CDC. The guidelines have been set out there by the NFL Players Association and the NFL. All you have to do is follow what you're supposed to do. Social distancing, wearing a mask, washing your hands, making sure that you're not part of the problem. Now, I can't say for a lot of these guys, and I look at the technology that the NFL is using with the bracelets, with just being able to track who you've been around, just so much technology just to try to eliminate this. And again, the players have to be part of the solution. And I think we need to kind of hold off on how we're looking at COVID right now until we can see, some of these investigations that are going on, like with the Tennessee Titans. We don't know 100% for sure if the Tennessee Titans have been following all those guidelines. Again, it comes back to personal responsibility. And the NFL is a microcosm of the world, and all of us, we have that responsibility to make sure that we're all doing what we should be doing.
That's correct. But the unique thing about the NBA, the way they handle it
in the bubble,
they had a stationary place to where all the players stayed. And then, like you say, if they didn't follow those guidelines and rules and they popped up positive on COVID, that means you've been doing something you ain't had no business doing. And I'm just looking for the same continuity almost for the NFL, but it's kind of impossible.
Yeah.
But I just pray and hope that does not hit the team at all this year here. Yeah. Because we have a very good chance of coming out on this thing here at the end of the season, being the first team in history to win the Super Bowl in their own backyard. Nobody would be able to take that away from us, period. That would put us to the forefront of any conversations about greatest teams at all times.
That would erase all the problems that we've had over the past decade and a half. That will erase all that if the Bucs were able to do something like that.
Then you start getting into the conversation of greatest of all time. We would have to be in that conversation then.
For me, to be honest, bro, I'm just glad to be talking about playoffs. I'm glad to be talking about that. I'm glad that we have the quarterback that we do right now. I'm happy with where this team is. I'm going to go a step further. I'm glad these injuries are occurring now rather than when you're looking at December or late December when we're talking about potentially going to the playoffs and dealing with these kind of injuries. I'm glad that right now you've got your young players that are getting out here and they're playing in these meaningful games because that's going to do nothing but help them and help their confidence when we get to the back end of the season. So I want to get your...
BA did...
Oh, go ahead.
BA did say one thing. BA did say one particular thing. He was like, they was going to hold off on not rushing Godwin back off the bat because they really wanted to save him
100%.
For Green Bay because they knew how important that Green Bay game is going to be right there.
Yeah.
They knew how important that game was going to be. But then also at the same time, it gave us a chance to really look at Keyshawn Vaughn because we didn't have any preseasons this year here. We got a small glimpse, not a big, we got a small glimpse to see what he was able to do.
He's a home run hitter.
I believe if Rojo is not running like how he's supposed to run come tonight, don't be surprised you start seeing Keyshawn getting a lot more playing time tonight.
Brother,
I'm not going on too.
I'm going to put it this way, man. If I don't care who's under center, I don't care who's starting or who's finishing, it's going to come down to this team winning as a team, this team getting wins and not losses, winning games that they shouldn't win, winning games they should win. And that's what's important to me because I want to see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs. So at the end of the day, a lot of people are not happy with how Ronald Jones is running. I'm good with it right now. I think that as long as he's continued to progress and get better as the season goes on, I think we'll be good to go, man. Let me get your final thoughts before I get you off. I want to get somebody else on here and try to get their thoughts. So let me know what you think, man. What about the game or just in your thoughts in general?
I see us winning tonight. Low scoring game. I will probably say 21-17.
All right, 21-17, my brother. I hope to hear from you next week when we're on in our regular time or call in tomorrow. It's going to be a fun show tomorrow.
No doubt.
Call in tomorrow, fun show tomorrow. And thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate you.
No problem.
All right. All right, that was Mr. Everything's Bucks. You know, it's kind of cool getting people to call in and give their thoughts. We're getting closer and closer to the game. Corey Flash, what's going on? The stash is banned, bro. You may see him on here. He's officially banned. You will not. He's done, man. But again, I want to get back to the chat, guys. Thank you so much, Frank G. What's going on? The Bears defense is going to bring the heat. Khalil Mack scares me, dude. I mean, you're talking about a once-in-a-generation player. Oh, here we go. Let's see who we got here. All right. You are live on Buck What You Heard. Who am I talking with?
Hey, it's Brandon Man, Gene. What's
Brandon Man. What's going on, man? What are your thoughts on the game, brother?
Oh, man, I am so pumped about this game. Just, you know, Nick Foles is going to be sacked 3+ times tonight. He ain't going nowhere.
So, you know, just looking at the last game, and you're looking at this game. What are your keys? What are your keys to success for this game?
Oh man, so pumped about. Well, I think, like you said, he's been running the ball good. He just needs to catch the ball a little better. Yeah, I'll be in that category. Like you said, I'm on the list.
Hell yeah, you're on the list.
But I do think he's gonna. I think he's gonna run the ball good. He's gonna run the ball well. We just need to keep our team healthy, man.
Yeah,
we need healthy players.
100%, man. I totally agree with you. You know, when you thought about this game, when the Bucs won against the Chargers, and you thought, oh man, we got the Bears coming up next. Outside of that front line for the Bears, what scares you the most about this Bears team?
Well, there's Eddie Jackson, of course. I mean, he's going to be if he's playing and we're trying to throw deep, he's going to be right there with the ball. But you know, Mike Evans if he's a go for tonight, if he gets the green light to go, he should be able to win that matchup there.
All right.
I think.
So what is your final score?
Oh, my prediction is 24-21.
24-21.
It's gonna be a good game.
All right. So this isn't gonna be a Lovie Smith game. This will be an actual good game here.
Yeah, we're not gonna blow a lead. we're gonna get the lead and we're gonna keep the lead. It's not gonna be last year's 2 years ago Bucs. We're definitely not gonna be the Falcons.
Speaking of blown leads, shout out to the Atlanta Falcons.
Congratulations.
I hate that team, but anyway. So, dude, yeah. I want to get your final. Let me get your final thoughts, man. What do you think? I mean, and it could be anything. Do you think that the Buccaneers are poised to go to the playoffs?
Oh, definitely. We're already in the lead in the NFC South.
Are we too early to be talking about the playoffs?
No, we're already a quarter away with the season, man. And there's 3 more quarters. We just got to stay one game ahead of the Saints. They're the real contenders that chase us. If we can get there, our second game win against them, and have a better record. Yeah, I think we can get to the playoffs. Be the first NFC South team to get into the playoffs.
Man, and then you want to go and bring up the Saints, man. This is what I think of the Saints.
Hey, the Bears get fucked.
And so that's, anytime you talk about the Saints, I got to bring that up. But again, my friend, thank you so much for calling in. You are greatly appreciated. Hopefully, can you call in tomorrow? I want to get your thoughts on the game one day removed from this Thursday night football game.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right. Again, thank you for calling in. You're greatly appreciated. I know you've been a long-time listener, and shout out to you and your family. You got a wonderful family, so you guys.
Thanks, Steve.
You guys are always appreciated. Again, my man Brandon Man, thank you so much, bro. All right. Once again, 813-358-8154. Hit me up. Let's talk about this, man. I want to get your thoughts. That's what this show is about. This show is for the fans. This show is getting the fans involved because I want to hear your voice. So let me know what you think. Fatal. Fatal saying the defense is going to win the game for us. You can win if you can't. You can win if you can't score. Spot on, man. I mean, defense wins championships. That's what it's all about. My guy Corey Flash. Oh, I didn't expect to hear from him, but good to hear from you, Corey Flash. Stephen Pryor says 28-17 Bucs. Smoke is talking about Rojo. I'm a huge Rojo fan. I'm still head of that Rojo fan club. You know, I want to see them do what they do. Khalil Mack's gonna be a problem. I don't care what anybody says. This guy is gonna be a problem. And just the rest of that Chicago defense. Oh, here we go. We got another caller in from. All right, you are live on Buck What You Heard. Who am I talking with?
Smoke.
The Smoke. What's happening, my brother?
Chilling, man. Chilling. Live. It's game day. You know what I'm saying?
So how you feeling about this game, man?
Excited, bro. Can't even be mad. We 3-1. Defense looking good. Say, we got Tom Brady. That's real life right there. You know what I'm saying?
Tom motherfucking Brady. You know it.
Brady. And like you just said, you read my little thing up there, hashtag Rojo1000. I'm representing all the way from Texas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real. So, you know, are there a lot of Bucs fans in your location? Are you down with the Bucaholics in the Texas area?
Oh, we're sprinkled around, you know what I'm saying? I grew up in San Antonio, so a lot of us would get together in San Antonio. It's pretty live. It's enough of us out here.
That's what's up, man. So when I want to ask you a question because I think this is kind of cool here. When you heard Tom Brady had signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, did you imagine that this team would pick up and start playing the way they're playing right now? And you looked at the schedule because a lot of people are like, the Bucs aren't going to win one game out of these four. And I've heard that I don't know how many times, but we've seen what the Bucs are doing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So when we got Tom Brady, my expectations, they have to be super high. As a Bucs fan, they got to be super high. With what we drafted, Jason Light and them guys have been going hard the last couple of years. And for me, I've been playing football all my life. Like I said, I'm a Texas boy. So, you know, defense first and everything. So with them drafting that defense and getting it right, you know, that, like you say, Tom Brady picked the perfect destination. You know what I'm saying? To finish his career at. We got weapons. You know, I feel so bad for big OJ juice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. OJ had to go down on us. That sucks. But we have so many weapons, even the youngsters, man. With Tom Brady being back there, it's just hard to think to lose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. And I got to ask you, you know, being a Texas person, me being a Florida person, I don't know if you guys think the same way as we do. Football is life. Everything else is just details.
Life. You know what I'm saying? Eat, breathe, sleep, football. That's it. That's it, man.
Man.
Hey, but say, let me tell you, man, a lot of people, for some reason, they don't buck the system, the NFL system. We got Tom Brady, hands down, and our defense is balling. I don't understand why people keep putting us with these close games. I respect every NFL team, and I don't downlook any team. But with the way our team is looking, we should have the mind frame to go in with a blowout. Just like last week, I was hoping for no touchdowns last week. And this week, I'm going in with the same thing. No touchdowns this week. They can drive the ball, have some field goals, but the defense needs to make a statement this week.
You know, you make a great point, and you have a less mobile quarterback. Foles is not as mobile as the quarterback that we faced last time. I think this is one of those things where I think you got to dial up that pressure, and you know you got to disguise your blitzes, and I think there are plays to be had here against this Chicago offense.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Plenty of plays out there to be made.
So
Scooter got to go get them.
Yep, there you go. So, what is your final score? How are you looking at this? What's your score for this game?
With Brady coming off the week he did last week, and even Justin coming in with a couple of catches, Scooter showing out, you know, even Brake made his appearance for the first time last week.
those guys are going to have opportunities. So I'm thinking high 20s, early 30s. And like I said, no touchdowns. Give these boys 9 points in their home stadium. Dominate. Let these young defensive guys go out and eat.
That's right, man. That's what it's all about, right?
And one thing I love about football in the NFL, there's always storylines. I've been telling people follow YouTube. I don't do too much social media and stuff, but YouTube. So, and this is actually like my first ever call in. I've seen you running and having your show. I was like, man, I'm going to call in.
I'm blessed, man. Thank you for doing that.
Already. But say, as long as we show up, man, ain't no point to it. We're going to, like I said, I don't see how people are given, like I say, storylines. All right, so Nick Foles, right, beats Tom Brady. Last year, we go into Jacksonville. We kill Nick Foles, right? We take his manhood a little bit.
We destroyed it.
Storylines. That's going to be kind of scary because Nick Foles is going, have his chest out to try to come get us back. But
this
you know what I'm saying?
We got even the same defense that he faced the last time.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And then you look at when Mike Smith, old sorry ass, was the defensive coordinator, and Tampa got roasted. That's why Trubisky's got that big contract, because he put up that he put up that big ass game. He needed to send half his damn check over there to Mike Smith, because I'm telling you.
I know. You got it, man. You got it. Oh my goodness.
So I'm
excited.
I'm gonna hit you up with a question. One of my hot seat questions. I got you for one. On a scale of 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, where you putting Tristan Wirfs?
Bro, I lost my little Game Pass thing, so I ain't been able to go back and really study tape. But hey, man, I'm giving him a 7 right now. Just like Jensen in the middle, he runs downfield. I played running back all my life, so I love the big boys. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And once you get them running down the field with you, you have to love and respect it. And that young, he gets it. He's not afraid.
So what'd you think about how he dominated Joey Bosa during that all 4
Joey
quarters?
Bosa. Hey, when you go back and watch it, remember that play when they hit Tom Brady? They got him pretty good, and it was like a 3 and out there. It was like a 3rd down, and he threw it out to the sideline, and they hit him pretty good. He went down. That next play, worse. He got on his butt. He put him down.
Yeah.
I was there, so yeah, I love him. It's been a while since we got that high too. Like I said, I love the big boys. My favorite player on the team right now is Vita Bay. I got my 50-50 pewter on jersey right now. Going hard, I'm telling you.
So you
I love the big boy.
So you weren't in the Derwin James camp. You were happy with the addition of Vita Vea on that line.
Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? And now I see, it might have been a mistake. That's football and that's life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But the way I've grown up, you win in the trenches, man. Yeah. You win in the trenches.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, my brother.
But we finally got our station.
Well, I want to thank you so much for calling in, man. We will be doing a post-game show tomorrow. I'll be joined by my special co-host, Tampa Bay. It's going to be fun, man. Please call in if you get a chance to check us out, 7 p.m. Eastern. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll be doing this every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. This is one of those flip-flop days because of the way the game is all set up, and I wanted to kind of, hear from you guys. But again, bro, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate you, and you have a home here. You're always welcome to call in.
Already, Buck, what you heard. Keep it rolling.
All right, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's what makes this fun. That's what makes this so live right now, is just getting people to call in. And guys, tomorrow I will be doing the hot seat. I will pick a random caller. If you call in and you could answer my 10 questions within 1 minute, you're going to be the special co-host the next week. So think about that. If you decide to call in and you're talking and I say, hey, I'm going to put you on the hot seat, you have an opportunity to be the special guest co-host the next Wednesday. So that is going to be fun. And that's going to be something we're going to continue to do throughout the season. So looking here through the chat, does anybody know if there's going to be fans in Chicago? I don't think there is. I think Chicago one of those squads. I don't think they're gonna have fans out there. So I don't know. And let's see, Stephen Pryor, or is it going to be an empty? I believe it is an empty stadium. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. You know, it's gonna be a great game. Well, guys, oh, here he said one more call. Hey, Steven, hit me up, man. Hit me up. You know what to do. You know the number. 813-358-8154. Hit me up. That's pretty much all I had. I just wanted to hear from you guys. This was a great show. I didn't expect to, get this much activity here, but everybody's getting excited for this game, and you really should be with this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team playing the way they are. And the fans, we got to all come together and just have some fun with this. Any chance you get, you have a team that's 3-1. We haven't been able to talk about that for a long ass time. So let's get out there and enjoy that, man. And the lines are pretty much dead right now. Sorry, Steven. Sorry, man. Unless you want to call in, that's what's up. Again, you guys are appreciated. Again, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, we will be doing the post-game show. I will have my special guest, Tampa Bay, on with me, and we're going to have some fun with this. But anyway, that's pretty much it for me. I'm going to go ahead and cut this short, get these ribs off the smoker, and we're going to do this thing, man. And again, if you know me, you know how I do it. Tomorrow, please call in, and let's have some fun. But go Bucs. Let's do this. Remember, Buck what you heard.